Hello, hello. It is Saturday. It is February the 7th, 2026. And I thought I'd tell you a little story today about a 4-year-old self. A little backup. This story was actually in my autobiography. It Takes Many Lifetimes. It was originally in the book. And I had so many stories in there. I thought it's just getting to be too big a book. So I took that story out of there. But in Germany as a child, my sister, grandmother, mother, and I lived in an attic in a building in this little tiny town in a farming community in northwest Germany. And they were refugees. We were born into very trying, financially difficult situation, my sister and I. We were so poor. We were just so poor, and I slept in a crib until I was 9 because we couldn't afford to get a bed for me, all curled up. But at 4, I think I was pretty lonely. My grandmother, she was a powerhouse of activity. She worked from morning till night. She did our shopping, our cooking, cleaned constantly, did our laundry. She was very, very busy, very, very active. And my mother, she did a lot of knitting. And we all wore the things that she knitted for us. She did a very nice job. She was very good at what she did in terms of her knitting. So I'm 4 years old, and I longed for a companion, and I loved babies. I absolutely adored babies. And so I decided what I wanted in my life is I wanted a baby in my life. And now my grandmother, she had told me that babies, I had asked her, how do we get babies? How do we get a baby? And she said, well, you use sugar and put it on the windowsill, and then the stork sees the sugar on the window and brings you a baby. And so, I really had to work my way up to this. But one evening, when everybody else was sound asleep, I climbed out of my crib. I was 4. I went to the living room where we had a little sugar bowl standing on the table, and it was all the sugar that we had. That sugar would have had to last for like months probably. Well, little Krista, wanting this baby, took that sugar bowl and spread the sugar all over the windowsills quietly. I did as good a job as I possibly could. I'm sure I spilled quite a bit at 4. And then I got back into my crib and I stood there and I waited for the stork to bring my baby. And I guess sometime during the night I must have gotten too tired and fell asleep. But anyway, I didn't get that baby. And in the morning, my grandmother, whom we called Oma, she was so upset that I had taken all of our sugar and split it over the windowsills. And she didn't say, well, I lied to you, but I really didn't know why that baby didn't come to me. She said, oh, well, you have to be a grown-up to have that work. You can't have children putting sugar on windowsills and expecting more children to come. So that was a story from early childhood. And more recently this week, I did some lawyering, and back in 2018, in the beginning of 2018, I had decided that what I really wanted to do with my life is I wanted to go sail over the horizon. And so at that point in time, I gave up my law practice. I sold my house in Santa Fe, bought a boat, fixed it up, and then a storm, a Category 5 hurricane, came along and smacked it. And so then it took a while longer to make everything work again. But as a result, I don't have an office anymore for my lawyering. I do what I do here in this little guest bedroom It is my painting studio. It is my law office. And it's a guest bedroom. Although I have only had 2 guests here since I've moved in here. So this week I have a client for whom I did a series of estate documents. Now, not having an office, I also don't have staff, right? And so getting all these things signed in front of a notary, and I allowed my notary license to lapse when I did my sailing over the horizon. So yesterday I met my client in a restaurant in Santa Fe. In fact, the restaurant that I had mentioned in the video about the 4 car crashes, this is the same place that I was at in 2008 when I came out of there and had Carola Swan crash into me. Nice lady. Not a good way to meet new people. So there we were in this restaurant, and I had my former paralegal Sharon meet us. She works down the street for the state nowadays, so she came with her notary seal, and we needed one more witness. For will signing, you need 2 witnesses and 1 notary, and so I importuned the gentleman sitting at the next table to us. He said, "What? Do what now?" But he helped us out. Otherwise, I would have asked the restaurant owner to be the second witness. So yesterday was kind of interesting, doing this lawyering in this fashion. But I'm still doing some good in the world with my law degree, so I will keep on doing that, I suppose, for a while longer, until the universe tells me I should be doing something different. And today I have really, really good intentions to get something going with that canvas in back of me. I have given myself lots and lots of time to flip and flop this way, that way, the other way, as to what I want to paint next. And I am so drawn to trees and flowers, and I think that's what's going to go on that canvas next. I've got the paint box sitting on the bed there, ready for some action. So that is going to be my day today, and I wish you a good coming week. Hopefully a quiet week. Things are unraveling in the federal government, and Trump can't unravel too fast, too soon for me. I am looking forward to his imminent departure. Depending upon which psychic you listen to, it could be any day, or it could be months from now. But he's leaving. I feel good about that. All right. Wishing you a great next week. Ciao.